Hey guys, Skilled Legend here, and I wanted to make a video about some things. First of all, I'm gonna tell you guys something, uh, that's kind of relevant, and it's kind of an update, but I start school tomorrow, so I will be making content a lot less, than usual. I start my classes again, so just bear with me if there isn't something out or if there's something that you guys want to talk about, just tell me about it and then I will try my best to make a video about it if I can or have the time. But also another thing that I kind of wanted to update is that I am going to probably be moving away from Pokemon if certain criteria isn't met. Um, so something that I kind of wanted to kind of rant about is the fact that if this show doesn't hold the morals that I really want it to, I'm probably going to not end up watching it. I know that I told a lot of you that I'd give it a chance and stuff, but um, with how things are going so far, I just don't know if I really want to, but we'll see. I mean, it just depends. I mean, it could be a great anime, and it could be a great series even without Serena. But the thing is, um, you know, a lot of people have said that you should give new characters their time to shine. If it wasn't for Dawn or Iris leaving, we probably wouldn't have had Serena, and that's true. But the thing is I'm getting kind of sick of that. I'd rather have a Dawn or a May or even an Iris or a Serena stick around. I just am very tired of them, starting these stories and then never finishing them, or finishing them with half-baked ideas of them roaming around the other parts of the Pokemon world and continuing their journeys but never seeing them again or seeing them again in, a 5 episode cameo. I would much rather have them do what they're doing with Pokemon Generations with Ash's companions. Have little 3 to 5 minute videos of, what are Ash's companions doing these days. I'd much rather see that than what they're doing right now. And it's not really cool that, I love Brock as a character. I've always loved Brock. I've been, like I said, a million times in every single video. I started the anime and it came out when I was 7. So I've seen Brock, I've loved Brock, but it just doesn't seem really fair that this character gets all the shining and all the glory, and he's been in almost all the episodes that other companions just haven't. He's been in the most episodes that a companion has had, and he's had great storylines, but what of the other characters? Heck, I would, even if Serena's leaving, I would love to see Dawn return. I would love to see May return. I would love to see more arcs about them and other characters. I would love to see them finish these stories that they create, because they created such good storylines with each of these characters. And it just is really getting frustrating, and I don't really want to support that no matter how good Sun and Moon is. Now, this isn't me coming out and saying, I don't support Amore shipping anymore, or that Serena's not going to go to Alola. In fact, I still very much believe that she is, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit more later on in the video. But I just wanted to let you guys know that if she doesn't, I probably won't be watching Sun and Moon. I probably won't be doing these Pokemon news videos or theory videos as much. I might come out and say something, if I see something interesting or that kind of excites me, but I don't think that I'll continue to watch the show as much as I have over the years. I know that that's kind of what I want. It's kind of against what I said earlier, but it's just the fact I don't want to support this kind of writing anymore. I mean, the animations look great, the characters' design is meh, but I've already kind of explained that to you guys. Short and sweet in case you missed it or you don't have Twitter. They're using a new software program that they haven't used ever. It's brand new. Even one of the animators who's been working on animation for 30 years, and he's been writing solo, or he's been animating solo for Pokemon, entire arcs and episodes since the beginning 20 years ago, has had to relearn how to animate using the software. So like the character designs, they could get a lot better over time. They could be more like X, Y, and Z as they learn how to use the program. And it's relatively new, so they're just learning how to do all this stuff and making the animation awesome. I mean, you guys can't say anything against it. The animation is what is awesome in the show. It's just that the character design is meh. And the plot so far is kind of meh, but like I said, I'll talk about that a little bit later. But, anyways, I don't really want to support that kind of stuff anymore. Um, like, I want to be that person that, I know that I'm one person and I'm not going to make a huge difference, but I want to be that person that is like, okay, well, if you're going to, continue to do these kind of trends, I don't want to support it anymore. I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, well, you know what? This is a good season. I love Pokemon, but I don't want to be that person that is like, okay, well, great. This season was great. The characters were even better than Clement, Bonnie, Serena, and so your next season you're gonna remove them too. Like I don't want to promote that behavior no matter how good a series is. I want to you know show them, even though like I said that I'm only one person, I'm not gonna make a huge difference. I just don't want to promote that kind of behavior. It's kind of like if you go out to dinner and you wait for the cook to make your food and then he makes your food crappy and then you just eat it every day and you keep going back to that place knowing that it's going to be crappy because you don't say anything. Like it's a big difference between, you know, it's kind of a crappy analogy, but it's kind of the point that I want to make. I don't want to continue to support this idea that, it's okay for them to replace Serena or replace Dawn or replace any of these characters when they haven't finished their storylines. And you know what? They might have great endings for these storylines, but it just doesn't make sense. I was sitting down and talking to some of my other friends in Discord, and it really doesn't make sense for Serena to leave. Her character is based around her interactions with Ash. To see her go off with Shauna, or to go off with Palermo, or to go do her own thing in Kalos after she spent all that time trying to get Ash's attention, all that time chasing after Ash, it just really doesn't make sense to me. And like we've talked about how she could come back later in Alola, and that would be great, and I would love to watch that happen. But I'm just sitting here thinking, if she doesn't go to Alola, or if she does go off and do her own thing, it just really doesn't make sense. The other girls, while their storylines weren't completely finished, they had more of an incentive to leave. Missy had her bike fixed. Dawn had her bike fixed. May had her own adventure that she wanted to go on. She wasn't asked to go with Ash. They all kind of forced their way into Ash's life because of things that had happened with Pikachu and themselves and Ash. Whereas Serena kind of just went out of her way to find Ash, to, on pure speculation that it was Ash, to, go see him again, go show her love and support for him again, and to spend time with him. And it really doesn't make sense that she would just, oh, well, I found this dream that I really want to follow. I'm just going to leave you forever. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't really make sense to me. Like one of the things that you learn in life as you grow older is that, you compromise for things. Um, if you love someone so much, you might have to give up that dream of, being a rock star, or, traveling the world to follow your dream to, settle down with that person. And I know that, it's kind of weird to talk about that with the Pokemon anime, but, you know, it's something that really does happen all the time with people. Not saying that it's okay to say that with, how old they are, but it's just that they've made this for a more mature audience, and they made these moments for an audience that wants to see romance and relationships. And um Like even the characters that are old enough to are married or have kids are not very much older than Ash and Serena. And so, like people always throw the age card out there. They're only 10, but like Delilah is not much older than that. She's according to one of the mangas, she's like only 25 or 26 or something like that. So like, yeah, there is a significant age difference, but like if you think about it, she was like 16 when she had Ash, if that's true. So, like these things come up when it comes to Pokemon because it's there. It's how they presented the story. But I don't know. It just really bothers me when they do these kinds of things. And it just really doesn't make sense to me, and I don't see how they could pull it off in a good way. Which I'm not saying that they can't, but I just can't. I just don't see a good way for her to leave and make it realistically enough to believe that she wants to go off and do her own thing. But I guess we'll see what happens if that ends up happening. And like I said before, I don't believe that she actually is leaving for good. But anyways, to move off that topic and move on to Sun and Moon, something that I realized is that a lot of the Japanese leagues have to do with Ash building a league, Ash, or excuse me, the main protagonist building a league, and then also that the main antagonist is going to try to use the power of the island to become a Pokemon god. And that's for the game. And so far, the game storyline is kind of like synced with how the anime is starting. There's talks about rumors of the game starting with a tutorial where you start in school and how the moving thing is, and I've already explained a lot of that already. But um, yeah, it seems very interesting if these Chinese leaks are true, and they sound so true because if you think about it, realistically, um, they said that Lily is the daughter of the main antagonist, and she's in school with Ash already, and she's already looks like she has that assistant professor title within the anime as well. And so what I was thinking is, well, what if she really is the daughter of Lusamine, and she's related to Lusamine and uh, Gladion or whatever his name is. Because, like people joke around that, they look like the Ultra Beast and Lily looks like an Ultra Beast, and that's true. I mean, they really do, and that could very well be the plot line that they're going with. That they use the power of the island and turn into these Ultra Beasts or Pokemon gods. And if that's true, then the rest of the Chinese leaks have a very good chance of being true. And one of the big Chinese leaks is Ash building a Pokemon League, and Ash, or I'm sorry, I keep saying Ash, but the main antagonist or protagonist making a Pokemon League, and the main protagonist, you know, that that could very well happen within the anime as well, and something that I keep bringing up to people when I keep thinking about this is that excuse me, the thing that I keep bringing up with people is that if you don't count Clement or Bonnie as Ash's companions, because they're not old enough to be Pokemon trainers, and you don't consider Tracy because, he was kind of in between seasons and series, I think he was literally Orange Islands in one season of Johto before being replaced, so I don't really count him as like a quote unquote companion. But if you count all of Ash's companions, we have Misty, Brock, May, Dawn, Dylan, Iris, Clement, and Serena. If you counted that all on your hands right now, you've got 8. So that's 8 companions for 8 gyms for the league. Now, I'm not saying that this could happen, but if it did, that would be pretty cool because we'd get to see all those characters again in one place. And one of the things that they keep saying is that returning companion is going to come. Well, what if it's not just a returning companion, it's returning companions? I mean, yeah, it could just be Serena, and that would be great. I would love to see that happen. But it seems like maybe, or maybe the returning companion is just Serena, and then at the very end they're all together, and that's when the reset happens. But it just seems very interesting that there's 8 companions, and there's talk of a league for the game. Um, and since the anime usually follows some of the game ideas, it would be interesting to see. And knowing Ash, the whole thing with May and Dawn being contest driven and Serena being performance driven, he could very much make gyms around that for them. Especially since Alola is very different from the typical straight up gyms that we've seen throughout the entire series. It's a very lively place. There's dancing. There's things that would look like there's kind of contest battles with the whole how the um, trial captains things work, and obviously there's a lot of talk that there could be performances since that's what the island. That's one of the biggest reasons people think that Serena is going to go to Alola. So I mean, there's these ideas that could happen, and then we also have his main rivals, which you know could also be part of his Elite Four group, whether it be Gary or um, Paul or um, Sawyer or Alon or Trip or whoever, but they have this all set out that it would work perfectly, whether you pick a certain group or not. And so it just seems really interesting to me that they could actually do that. And the funny thing is most of the people or most of the gym leaders from other regions aren't really like they still have the experience of being a gym leader, but they aren't like gym leaders of that particular region anymore. So I mean, it really fits really well. And so like that's one of the main reasons that I think that this all could work out. But like I said, if it doesn't, I don't know if I could watch it no matter how good it is. But anyways, I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that, you know, this whole joking around about them being Ultra Beasts could actually be them potentially turning into the Pokemon gods in the anime and the game? Do you think that all this stuff is actually coming together like I think it is? Would you think that all the companions coming back would be a great storyline, or would you rather just see Serena? Anyways, talk to you guys later. Bye.